Have you heard of the term the kingpin before? I mean, it used to be back in the day of the mafia, the mob, that type of mentality, that type of thing. So, the kingpin. I'm going to give this to you in a different text, in a different format, and there's different meanings to the word kingpin, or to the phrase kingpin. So, when you know where your kingpin is and what it's doing that's stopping you, maybe it's getting in the way, maybe it's got your flow just totally cut off and blocked. This happens because you are the only one in control of your kingpin, and it's up to you to unblock it when it's blocked. You are the only one. And I say this from the heart because it's true. Hold on. I am getting a little off kilter. There we go. Okay. The kingpin. I'm going to give you a different reference as to the flow of a kingpin and the meaning behind a kingpin and where you come into play when your kingpin is not flowing. So, in the logging industry, for anyone out there who knows about logging, then you know that in order to cut down the logs, the logger cuts them down. And in a lot of ways, in a lot of places I should say, the loggers will let the logs travel down the river. It's a great way of transporting logs. I mean, let's face it, logs can weigh thousands of pounds. They're very heavy, they're very cumbersome, and they are not easy to maneuver. It's not like a logger can just go out there and pick up a log and it's going. A logger really can't do that. They're heavy. So they use the river as momentum to go and float the logs down to their next destination, which could be the plant that's going to process them. It could be the next checkpoint where it's going to go off one way or go off another way. There's different ways that loggers do to get the momentum going for these logs. And there's different paths that they use to take. So life is very similar to the logging industry. And I'm putting this in general terms because a lot of people out there know about working every day, know about reaching your goals, having success, having momentum, being consistent, and all those things above that I teach you on a daily basis. So, when life is going your way, when everything you want is going your way, then you have a flow. There's a rhythm. You have everything coming, the energy is going, the momentum is going. And for the loggers, the ocean, or not the ocean, but the river is the momentum that gets the logs down the path. So when you use that momentum from the river to keep the logs moving, to keep them flowing, to reach their next destination, which is their goal. The goal point is to reach where the logs need to go so they can be processed. So, but for people, the flow of energy is often not reached because somewhere in the flow, they lose sight, they lose belief. So when a person is in the flow of energy and they have everything flowing their way, you have everything coming, it's going, you got money coming in, you got value going out, you're making sales, you're doing content, you're offering value, you're getting a return on you. So that is a flow and with a destination, and it could be your destination is to have a bank account with X number of dollars in it all the time. This means you have money keep flowing into your bank account. This is like the kingpin. We're going to get to the kingpin here in a second, and how the kingpin will either stop the flow or it will allow you to know when something isn't quite there that maybe you need to take care of. So, but momentum in motion, like the logs flowing down the river to get to their destination, to the processing plant, is easygoing until the kingpin hits. And it happens regularly. So what we have to do is we have to look and see okay, there's a kingpin. It's right here. It's in my business. It's right there in my process. Everything I was working on has stopped. I have a stop in momentum. I have a stop in flow. Is it my beliefs? Is it my energy flow? Is it my attitude? Is it my consistency? What is happening that has stopped the flow of my momentum? So, a lot of times for people, it is belief. You get going and you're just flowing along and everything is happy and everything is great. Then all of a sudden, bam, something happens and you get that little bitty sliver of a belief of what am I doing? Or someone will say to you, how can you do that? How is that working for you? Why are you even trying that? That puts a disbelief somewhere in that thought, and that will stop momentum. And that will create a kingpin. That will create the kingpin that could be what's stopping you right now. It could be a belief that you don't have full confidence in yourself. You don't have full confidence in what you're doing. You don't have full confidence in the outcome that you have projected. You don't have full confidence. But belief is a huge factor with a lot of people in the kingpin. So, when the logs get blocked, what happens is they turn sideways. You'll have the logs flowing down the river like such, and then several logs will do this. Yep, exactly. They will turn sideways. And this creates a kingpin. And that's what loggers call it when the logs do that. They're going down and then bam, right there, sideways. That's a kingpin. So what they have to do is loggers have to go down there, find out where in the flow, where in the momentum of these logs flowing down the river is the kingpin. They may not know exactly what caused the kingpin. They may not know what prompted the kingpin to slide that way at that particular moment in time. All they know is that kingpin is stopping the flow of the logs. And for a logger, the logs getting to the processing plant is money in the bank. In order to have the money flow, the logs have to flow. If the logs don't get to the processing plant, if the logs don't get to their destination, then there's no money. The money stops. So when you look at the logs flowing down the river as money, you could look at, in the same respect, your thoughts, your feelings, the actions you've put in place. Maybe you're an affiliate and you're selling courses. You're selling, different processes or different systems that you have created. Or maybe you are doing coaching, whatever it is you're doing. If you don't have a consistent flow of your positive energy flowing and you get a kingpin, it's going to stop right there. The kingpin stops. Boom. It goes like this, and then boom, it stops. It blocks everything. It stops everything. So, it's the same thing. When people get a kingpin, they tend to lose hope. They tend to lose belief. Instead of just saying, okay, let me see where my kingpin is, which is, in other words, in a nutshell, saying, what was I doing or what wasn't I doing when the kingpin happened? Let me see where it's at. And this happens to everybody. It doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have. You will, from time to time, get a kingpin. So look and see where your kingpin happened. If it is a belief, change that. If it's maybe a system or a course that has outweighed its usefulness, rework it, give it new life, change some aspects of it, re-energize it, redo it, move it back into flow. Why not? You have that power. So you're always in control of the flow of your logs, of your energy, and how your logs flow down the river is the same as your income flowing to your bank. So the flow of energy is momentum. And momentum comes from you. Just like the river pushes the logs down the river, your momentum comes from your beliefs, comes from your actions. If you go through a day without taking action steps, without building and growing and prospering, that is a kingpin. It doesn't matter if you're working at your business, but you have to be doing something to keep that flow of energy going. Regardless of what it is, granted, take a vacation, go have fun, kick back. But you have to have operations in place. That's where autoresponders and different things come in handy, because you've already did the work. You've put them into place. And now you're letting them work. If you're not willing to take the opportunity when it comes to you, you will be responsible for that kingpin that you've created right there, stopping your flow. It could have been a flow that was created to help you grow. It could be a flow that was created to help you succeed. It could be a flow to use social media, which is a flowing energy all in its own. It's constantly flowing, full of energy to use by a lot of people. So anybody that will get out there and use your kingpin when it drowns and unblock it. Unblock the flow. Only you can unblock the flow of your kingpin when it hits. No one else can do that for you. You have to do it. Beliefs, consistent action, faith in what you're doing. If you don't have the skills, get the skills. Learn the skills. Get with mentors and coaches who will teach you this. Anyone out there who is looking and learning and constantly growing, they're going to have success. It may not happen immediately. It may not happen anytime real soon. But the success is on the wall, and it's right there in the flow of energy that you are producing. So I wish you all the best. And again, when the kingpin happens, and it will, it's up to you to unblock it.